The grand hall of the alien capital was filled with light, music, and fear. Tall banners of the alien empire hung from the walls, red and gold shining under crystal lamps. Hundreds of eyes watched the long aisle, waiting for the chosen bride to walk toward the future they could not escape. It was not love. It was duty. The younger sister walked forward, her heart heavy, her steps trembling. She was not supposed to be here. Everyone believed it would be her elder sister standing in the silk gown, ready to be sent as a bride to the human colony. But the elder sister had broken down, crying in silence, refusing to go. And so, in the deep of the night, the younger sister had taken her place. Her face was covered by a thin veil. Her hands shook as she held the ceremonial chain that marked her as the gift to humanity. Inside her chest, fear and guilt battled with courage. She thought of her sister's tears. She thought of the whispers of their people. Humans were dangerous, humans were unpredictable. Humans were too strong for any empire to control. Now she was the one who had to face them. At the far end of the hall, the doors opened with a deep metallic sound. The human delegation entered. Heavy boots struck the stone floor, echoing like thunder. Soldiers in black armor walked in perfect lines, their helmets gleaming, their faces unreadable. And behind them came the commander. He was tall, broad-shouldered, his uniform dark and sharp. His eyes, cold as steel, scanned the hall like a weapon searching for its target. Every alien noble lowered their gaze, some even trembling. The commander of the Terran colony was not a man to be ignored. The younger sister froze. She had never seen a human before. His presence was heavy, almost crushing, yet there was something magnetic about it. He walked slowly toward the stage, his gaze sweeping over the hall, until it stopped on her. Her breath caught. His eyes locked on hers, piercing through the veil, as if he could see the truth hidden beneath it. She lowered her head quickly, terrified that he might notice she was not the true bride. The elder sister had been trained for months, taught to walk gracefully, to smile politely, to speak with controlled tone. But the younger sister had no such training. She was only here out of desperation to protect her family's honor. The music grew louder. A voice from the alien court announced, "Here stands the bride of alliance offered to humanity, to honor the peace between our people." The commander did not answer at once. He stepped closer, his boots ringing against the polished floor. The soldiers behind him stopped, but his shadow fell over her. He studied her quietly, his expression unreadable. Then, to everyone's shock, he raised his hand. "I will take her." The hall fell into silence. Whispers spread like fire among the alien nobles. Many looked confused. Some looked horrified. One elder finally dared to speak. "Commander, forgive me, but this is not the sister chosen for you. This is not the correct bride." The commander's eyes narrowed. His voice was calm, but it carried a hidden power that silenced the hall again. "I do not care," he said. "I choose her." Her heart pounded so hard she thought she would faint. Why had he chosen her? Did he know the truth, or had he simply decided without reason? She felt the weight of his gaze again. He stepped even closer, leaning just enough for only her to hear. His voice was low, almost a whisper. "You are not the one they promised me, but you are the one I want." Her legs trembled. Her secret, her sister's secret, was exposed. She could not speak, could not even breathe. Around her, the court erupted with hushed voices, anger, and confusion. But the human commander did not look away. His choice was final. The younger sister realized her fate had changed forever. She had stepped forward in fear, but now she stood in the center of a storm. Humans were not weak. They were not slaves of tradition like her people. The human commander had chosen her in front of the galaxy, breaking the rules of the Alliance, and deep inside, she understood one terrifying truth. His choice was not an accident. He had seen her, and in that single glance, he had claimed her. The hall did not calm. The commander's words still echoed. "I choose her." Alien nobles whispered in anger. Some stood from their seats, pointing with trembling hands. The council speaker, an ancient figure draped in golden robes, tried to restore order. "Commander, you cannot change the agreement. The elder sister was trained, prepared, chosen. This one, she is unfit, she is not the one promised." But the human did not even turn his head toward the speaker. His cold eyes remained fixed on her. His silence was more dangerous than any shouted threat. The younger sister lowered her gaze, her heart pounding like a drum. She wanted to speak, to explain, but her throat was locked with fear. She thought the humans would be angry if they learned the truth. Instead, the commander looked almost satisfied. He took one step forward. His boots struck the floor like a hammer. "She stands," he said, his voice deep, steady. "And that is enough." Gasps filled the hall. No one dared oppose him directly, yet anger burned in the alien noble's eyes. The Empire was proud, but the humans were feared. The council speaker tried again, his voice shaking. "Commander, with respect, this is a breach of protocol. If you take the wrong bride, the treaty may collapse. War may—" The commander finally turned. His stare cut the speaker's words in half, then let it collapse. The silence that followed was heavier than stone. Even the guards along the wall shifted nervously. War with humans was not something anyone in the Empire wanted. The commander then looked back at her. Slowly he extended his hand. His voice lowered, but it carried across the hall. "Walk with me," her legs trembled. She glanced around. The nobles glaring, the council furious, her family hidden among the crowd with fear on their faces. She wanted to run. She wanted to disappear. But something in his eyes pulled her forward. She placed her shaking hand into his. His grip was strong, steady, unyielding. With that single touch, she felt a strange wave of safety and danger. The commander turned and began walking back toward the great doors. His soldiers moved instantly, forming a wall of black armor around them. None dared block his path. The council speaker shouted behind them, but his voice grew smaller and smaller as they walked out. The younger sister felt her heart race faster with every step. What had she done? What fate had she chosen? Once outside the hall, the cold air of the night wrapped around her. The commander finally spoke, his voice softer but sharp like a blade. "You are brave to take your sister's place. Or foolish. Perhaps both." Her breath caught. He knew. You knew?" she whispered. "I knew the moment I saw you," he replied. His eyes narrowed, studying her face under the veil. "Your spirit is not like hers. Yours burns brighter." She was speechless. The humans had not been fooled, not even for a moment. "Why?" she finally asked, her voice breaking. "Why would you choose me if you knew the truth?" The commander stopped walking. The soldiers ahead froze as well, silent as statues. He turned fully toward her. "Because," he said, his tone heavy with meaning, "I do not take what I am given. I take what I choose." Those words struck her harder than any weapon. He stepped closer, his presence overwhelming. His shadow fell over her as he leaned down, his eyes unblinking. "Do you understand, little one? The council, your empire, even your family, they wanted to send me a puppet. I do not marry puppets. I claim warriors." Her lips parted, but no words came. She had never thought of herself as strong, never thought she was anything but a shadow of her elder sister. And yet, this human commander had seen something inside her that even she did not believe in. Before she could answer, the night sky trembled. A deep hum filled the air. She looked up. Above the alien capital, massive human warships hovered in silence, their dark shapes blocking the stars. They had not been summoned. They had been waiting. The commander's voice was low, but it carried the weight of thunder. "The Empire thinks it controls humanity, but they forget we do not kneel. Not to kings, not to councils, not to empires, and not to lies." Her body shook with fear and awe. She realized now why the nobles had been terrified. Humanity was not just strong. Humanity was unstoppable. The commander released her hand only to lift her chin gently, forcing her eyes to meet his. His gaze burned with iron will. "You are mine now," he said. "Not because they sent you. Because I chose you." Her heart pounded so fast she thought it might burst. She did not know if she was safe, or if she had just been pulled into the most dangerous destiny of her life. And yet, in that moment, one truth was clear. There was no turning back. The palace had gone silent after the commander's choice, but silence did not mean peace. In the deep chambers of the alien capital, whispers turned to venom. The nobles were furious. The commander had broken their plan, had taken the wrong sister, had humiliated them in front of the galaxy. And worse, he had shown no fear of their empire. In the shadow of tall columns, cloaked figures gathered. They spoke in low voices, eyes burning with hatred. "She is weak, untrained. He will regret taking her. Better we will make him regret it. A single cut in the dark, and the humans will taste fear. But if he learns the truth, he may bring war. So let him. The Empire cannot bend to human will." An assassin was chosen. Silent, unseen, trained from birth to kill without sound. His mission was simple: strike the false bride, break the commander's pride, and remind humanity who held power. Meanwhile, she sat inside the commander's quarters. The room was strange, not filled with silks and gold like the alien halls, but with sharp lines, steel walls, and faint hums of hidden machines. Everything smelled of iron and discipline. She sat near the window, staring at the endless city lights. Her heart was heavy. "Why me?" she whispered to herself. "Why did he not reject me once he knew?" Her thoughts broke as the door opened. The commander entered, his heavy steps echoing. He removed his gloves and set them neatly on the table, his every move precise, controlled. His eyes found her at once. "You are restless." She lowered her gaze. "I don't belong here." "You do now." His tone was sharp but not cruel. He walked closer, studying her like a soldier studies the battlefield. "Do you know why your empire is weak?" She hesitated. Because humans are stronger?" He shook his head slowly. "No. Because they think strength comes from bloodlines, titles, and ceremonies. But strength comes from choice, and I chose you." Her chest tightened. She wanted to answer, but the words caught in her throat. Before she could try, the faintest sound brushed her ear, like a blade slicing air. The commander moved instantly. His hand shot forward, pulling her to the ground as a dagger buried itself in the wall where her head had been. Shadows exploded into motion. The assassin leapt from the ceiling, twin blades flashing. His body moved like liquid darkness, aiming straight for her heart. But the commander was faster. His hand drew a weapon from his side, a small human sidearm. The air cracked with fire as light burst from the muzzle. The assassin twisted, dodging, but one blast caught his arm. He hissed in pain, vanishing into the shadows again. The soldiers outside stormed in, weapons raised, but the commander lifted his hand to stop them. His eyes burned with fury. "Seal the palace. No one leaves. The rats have shown their teeth." The younger sister trembled where she sat on the cold floor. The commander bent and lifted her to her feet. His grip was firm, steady. "They sent him for you," he said, his voice low but filled with fire. "Do you see now? Your empire will sacrifice you without a thought. To them, you are nothing but a piece on their board. To me, you are mine." Tears filled her eyes. Fear, shock, and confusion mixed inside her. Why would they do this? I only wanted to protect my sister. I only wanted to help." The commander's expression softened, but only for a breath. "You helped more than you know. You gave me the chance to show them what humanity truly is." He turned to his soldiers. "Send word to orbit. Let the fleet show its shadow." Moments later, the sky outside the window darkened. From the heavens, massive Terran warships descended lower, their silhouettes like monsters against the stars. Their weapons glowed faintly, humming with restrained firepower. The alien city froze in terror. Whispers ran like wildfire. "The humans are ready for war." The commander looked back at her, his voice like steel wrapped in fire. "They thought they could test me. They thought they could touch what is mine. Now they will learn the price." Her body shook, but not only from fear. Somewhere deep inside, she felt something awakening. The humans were not just protecting her. They were declaring her worth to the entire galaxy. And as the fleet's shadows fell over the city, she realized the truth. The rebellion had already begun, and she was standing in the center of it. The alien council chamber was a hall of shining crystal and echoing voices, built to remind everyone of the Empire's power. But tonight the air was heavy with fear. Every noble, every elder, every servant could feel it. The shadow of human warships floating above the city like dark gods. The younger sister stood beside the commander, her heart pounding so hard she thought the council might hear it. Dozens of alien leaders stared at her with cold, angry eyes. To them she was a mistake, an insult, a shame. But the commander's presence was like a shield, unshakable, immovable. The high speaker's voice cracked as he spoke. "Commander, you bring your fleet against our skies as if we are your enemy. You claim a bride who was not chosen. This is dishonor. This is madness. Release the girl and restore the order, or the Empire will not forgive." The commander stepped forward, his boots ringing against the polished floor. He looked at the council as if they were children pretending to be kings. His voice was steady, but it carried like thunder. "You speak of dishonor? You send assassins to kill a bride you offered as alliance. You send lies wrapped in silk. You play with lives like pieces on your board. Do not speak to me of honor." The chamber fell silent. Even the high speaker could not answer at once. The younger sister's breath caught. He had said it openly, accusing them of attempted murder in front of every noble. Finally, one counselor slammed his staff against the floor. "Do you dare threaten the Empire? Do you think your human ships frighten us? We have ruled the stars for centuries." The commander's eyes narrowed. He took another step forward, and the lights above seemed to dim as if the chamber itself bowed to his words. "No, you do not rule the stars. You hide in them. Humanity has walked through fire, through death worlds, through silence itself. We are not frightened by your robes or your crowns. We are not chained by your ceremonies, and we will not bow." A murmur of shock spread through the council. Some whispered of war, others of disaster, but none could meet his eyes. The younger sister felt her hands trembling. She wanted to scream, to beg him to stop before it was too late. But deep inside, another voice whispered, "This is not weakness. This is strength." The high speaker tried again, though his voice was weaker now. "If you continue this path, Commander, you risk open war. Our fleets outnumber yours 10-1. Our weapons can burn entire systems. Your humans are still young, still reckless. Do not mistake your fire for power." The commander smiled. It was not warm. It was sharp, dangerous. "Then test us. Bring your fleets, fire your weapons, and watch how quickly your empire burns." Gasps filled the hall. The council was frozen between rage and terror. The commander turned, slowly pulling the younger sister forward so all could see her clearly. His hand rested firm on her shoulder. "You call her a mistake. You call her unfit. But she is mine. She is under my oath, and under humanity's protection. If you touch her, you declare war, not with me, but with every Terran across the stars." The younger sister's eyes widened. His words were not just for her, they were for the galaxy. In that moment, he had tied her fate to the power of all humanity. The high speaker tried one last time, desperate. "Commander, think carefully. A single girl is not worth a galaxy of blood." The commander's eyes burned like steel. "You are wrong. She is worth everything. Because the moment you tried to kill her, you declared what this alliance truly was, a chain. And humanity does not wear chains." The silence after those words was absolute. No one moved. No one spoke. The weight of his defiance crushed the chamber. Then, slowly, the commander drew his blade. Not ceremonial, but real, forged in human steel. He lifted it high and drove it point first into the polished floor, the sound cracking like thunder. "By my oath, by my blood, by the will of humanity, I claim her. And if the Empire wants war, let them take their first step through me." The council was paralyzed. Some trembled, some lowered their eyes. None dared answer. The younger sister's body shook, but this time not with fear. She felt something rise inside her, something fierce. For the first time, she believed him. Humanity was different. Humanity was dangerous. Humanity was hers. And as she looked into the commander's burning eyes, she understood. This was no longer just her secret. This was the beginning of a storm that would change the galaxy forever. The council chamber was broken in silence. The commander's oath still hung in the air, heavy like thunder that refused to fade. His sword stood buried in the crystal floor, a line drawn between humanity and the Empire. Outside, the night sky roared with power. Human warships floated above the alien capital, their guns glowing faintly, their shadows stretching across entire districts. The Empire's people looked up in fear and awe. For the first time, they whispered not of their own rulers, but of humanity. The younger sister stood beside the commander, her heart trembling. She had come here with fear. thinking herself a mistake, a fraud. But now she was something else. She was the center of a storm that could tear the galaxy apart. The high speaker finally broke the silence, his voice brittle. "Commander, if you continue this, the Empire will shatter. Our fleets cannot stand against you, but you will make enemies in every corner of the stars." The commander turned his head slowly. His eyes were steel, unshaken. "Then let them come. Humanity does not fear enemies. Humanity becomes stronger with every battle, and as long as she stands with me, no force in this galaxy will take her." Gasps rippled through the nobles. Some looked away. Some clenched their fists. But none dared speak further. The commander pulled his sword free from the floor with a sharp crack and turned toward the great doors. His soldiers followed instantly, forming a black wall of steel around him. The younger sister hesitated for only a moment before stepping into his shadow, walking where he led. As they left the chamber, the nobles whispered behind them, "He will destroy us." "No, he will rule us." Outside, the night was alive with light. Human ships hovered lower now, their war engines glowing, their cannons pointed outward as if daring anyone to make the first move. Alien defense towers had gone silent, their operators frozen with terror. The commander raised his hand. At once, every Terran ship dimmed its weapons, their lights shifting from blood red to calm blue. It was not surrender, it was dominance, showing the Empire that humanity could burn them at will but had chosen mercy. The younger sister looked up at the glowing sky, her lips trembling. Why do all this for me? I was not even supposed to be here. I am nothing compared to my sister, compared to—" The commander stopped walking. He turned, his eyes sharp, his voice low but cutting like a blade. "Do not say that again." She froze, her words caught in her throat. He stepped closer, his hand lifting her chin gently but firmly so she met his gaze. "You think you are nothing. You think you are a shadow. But when you stood in that hall, when you faced me with fear in your heart and still walked forward, you showed more strength than your empire has shown in centuries. That is why I chose you. Not because you were given, not because you were trained, because you were real." Her eyes filled with tears. No one had ever spoken to her like that. No one had ever seen her like that. The commander's voice softened, but it carried the weight of truth. "You are mine, not by chance, not by mistake, but by choice. And as long as I breathe, as long as humanity lives, nothing in this galaxy will take you from me." At that moment, the silence was broken by a sound from the heavens. Human dreadnoughts began to shift formation, their engines rumbling like the heartbeat of giants. Entire alien districts shook as the massive ships turned in unison, preparing to leave orbit. The commander raised his hand again. "Fleet, stand down." The war machines obeyed at once, dispersing into the night sky like shadows retreating into the stars. It was not retreat, it was declaration. Humanity had shown its teeth and proven its will. The Empire had no answer. The younger sister stood there staring at him, her chest heavy with emotion. For the first time, she did not feel like she had stolen her sister's place. For the first time, she felt chosen, not by fate, not by mistake, but by him. She whispered, barely audible, "And if the galaxy hates me for this?" The commander's expression did not change. His answer was simple, final. "Then the galaxy will burn." And so it began. The Empire had been shaken. The nobles whispered in fear. The people looked to the sky and saw a new power rise. Humanity had claimed not only a bride, but its place as the true storm of the stars. And in the center of it all stood a girl who once believed she was nothing, now claimed forever by the will of humanity.